Alright guys, we are back in my garage for another video, and today I am going to share with you a secret that I've been keeping about my 340i. My exhaust is seriously messed up. So one of the previous owners just hacked it up really poorly, and there are a lot of things wrong with it that I haven't addressed up until now, and thankfully KiesMotorsports agreed to send me out an AWE exhaust so that I can fix my exhaust issues once and for all. So a big thank you to them for helping sponsor this part of my build, and I will have a link down the video description in case you guys are interested in purchasing an AWE exhaust from them. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and head over to my car. I'll show you exactly what's wrong with it underneath, and then we will try to fix it and get this car back on the road and sounding much better. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. Now, as always, for everybody that's new to the channel, I create these videos to help keep you updated on the latest developments in our community, as well as discuss technical topics so that we have a better understanding of how our engines work. So if you're interested in more videos like that, be sure to subscribe because there will be a lot more coming out in the future. Alright, so we've got the car jacked up on all four wheels, and let me go ahead and get under the car and show you guys everything that's wrong with the exhaust and why it needs a refresh. So down here they did a res delete, so you can see there's one resonator here, and the other one they basically cut out and welded a straight pipe. And that's not really the end of the world, that doesn't bother me, but the problem is they made it too short. So if you come back to the front by the downpipe, you can see it's actually not long enough. The downpipe is barely in the mid pipe, and so this is the main problem I have that I need to fix, because there's basically a big exhaust leak right here where the clamp isn't able to completely seal it up. Not the end of the world, but it kind of makes an obnoxious noise, and I'm not able to get this exhaust hanger properly mounted, so you can see the nut fell off again. So hopefully I can make this fit better so that way I can mount it up properly and get the exhaust fully seated inside the downpipe. The other thing is back here we have a muffler delete, so you can see they basically welded in a Y pipe and kind of fabricated two exhaust tips. Again, doesn't really bother me. The 440 has a muffler delete as well, but the problem here is some of their welding didn't work too well, and here you can see there's basically a big hole in the downpipe, and there was like an exhaust hanger here, but now there's just a hole where it broke off. So again, probably not the end of the world as far as like performance and stuff like that, but it makes an annoying noise, and we can obviously clean this up and just make it look a lot better. So I want to fix that as well. So to start off, we need to remove the cross brace underneath your mid pipe. There should be 6 bolts here, but as you guys know, I did a bolt delete for weight reduction, so I only have 2. Go ahead and unscrew the bolts that you do have, and here you can also see my custom fabricated spacers for exhaust clearance. So whatever you have going on, just pay attention as you drop the brace. Now, if you have a nice muffler, you can go ahead and put down a blanket or something to make sure it doesn't get scratched up on the floor. I don't have a muffler, so this is just kind of pretend for this video. Then on each side of the muffler, there should be an exhaust hanger. Use an extension with a 13mm socket to unscrew it on each side. This is usually easier than trying to slide the muffler off of the hanger, and I'm just going to need to drop the whole thing and swap them anyway, since this has custom hangers on each side. So I'm going to just remove the whole thing. Now back at the downpipe connection, we're going to unbolt the clamp that's holding the midpipe onto the downpipe, and if you're a lucky one that has it, you'll also unscrew this nut that's holding the midpipe onto the exhaust hanger on the transmission. Then you can carefully pull the midpipe off of the downpipe and drop your entire exhaust. Here's another reason I just noticed I need to replace all of this, because apparently my exhaust tip has been melting my diffuser. So you can see there's melted plastic all over the exhaust tip, and that sucks. So just let me know what you guys think I should replace the diffuser with, since I'll have to be doing that at some point. Alright, so here is the exhaust that I went with, and I am doing the AWE muffler. So this isn't the catback. I'm not going to be doing the mid pipe. I'm just going to be doing the muffler portion, and I think this should fix majority of my issues. Also, a big shout out to KiesMotorsports. If you guys have been following their channel, you'll know that they are a huge AWE partner. They've done some development work on their own cars for AWE, and they are the ones that provided this AWE exhaust to me. So I'll have a link down in the description in case you guys are interested in purchasing one for your F30. But yeah, let's go ahead and open this up and see what's inside. 3, 2, 1. So the exhaust came in a huge box, and it's not that heavy really, it's just kind of bulky. As you open it, you can see that it's packaged really well. All of the hardware is in a separate box, so it's easy to find. And then for the rest, they just put a bunch of packing material around the actual exhaust, so it's not likely that even the roughest handling will cause any damage during shipping. All right, so here it is. So their muffler is definitely unique. It comes with this main muffler section, and then it also has this extra piping that comes out of it to create the dual exhaust tips. And then these are the exhaust tips that I went with. So I've got these huge 102 millimeter black chrome exhausts. So these should be pretty nice. And then of course it comes with all the clamps and everything else. So this should be pretty good. But this is the main thing I'm focused on. This pipe should replace that section that has the hole in it, I believe. And if I can cut out that hole and fit this, and it also helps bring the exhaust back to the correct length, then it should also fix the mid pipe that's too short as well. So that's what I had in my head. We'll kind of see once we kind of get everything organized and laid next to each other if it gives me the length that I need. But that's my goal here. So yeah, let's go ahead and start fitting the exhaust together and see what we got. So the exhaust goes together pretty easily. It's already partially assembled when you get it, but all of the clamps give a lot of adjustability to make sure the exhaust and the tips sit exactly where you want them to. Start off by putting this main clamp on the exhaust piping and then slide it onto the muffler. Leave it a little loose so you can adjust it later. Also, since my car came with the muffler delete with custom hangers, I had to go ahead and buy OEM hangers and bushings to make this fit. So I'll have part numbers in the video description just in case you guys are in the same situation as me. But they slide on pretty easily. I do kind of wish the muffler had some sort of feature to like hold them in place, some kind of retention feature on the ends. It's really just a straight piece of metal. So yeah, they slide on easily, but they can also slide off easily too. But we'll just have to pay attention and make sure it doesn't move. Then we've got some hardware to hold the pipe onto this bracket. If it's loose, the exhaust can wiggle around, so this just kind of starts things off by installing the bolts with the big washer on one side, and then stack the small washer, the lock washer, and the nut on the other side. If the exhaust is not aligned in the bumper, you can always adjust it before tightening it down, but once these are locked down, it just adds additional support so the exhaust can't move where you don't want it to. Now I'm going to cut my exhaust, and I'm using this hole as a guide since I need to remove it anyway, but if not, then you always can look under the mid pipe and there's basically a small dimple that tells you where you should cut. Or you can just lay the muffler next to the exhaust and kind of find the best cutting point. Now I'm going to use this tool I saw them use on the KiesMotorsports website, and it's really easy. It has these little cutting wheels on this chain, so when you wrap the chain around the exhaust and rotate it, it'll begin kind of sawing away at the exhaust. So wrap it around and hook the closest link onto one end of the pliers, and then squeeze and begin rotating it back and forth. The total time for mine was about 3 minutes for it to cut all the way through, so it is pretty easy. The only thing you have to pay attention to is making sure it's square so that you don't cut the exhaust at an angle by mistake. Now you can see here I bolted up the muffler, but there was still a sizable gap. I guess it wasn't as long as I thought, so I ended up having about 5 to 6 inches of space between the two pieces. So this is what we ended up with. I put the AWE adapter onto the mid pipe, and that adapts it from 3 inches to 80 millimeters to fit the stock mid pipe. And then I bought a 3-inch extension pipe from Summit Racing to take up the extra space. I know it's not pretty, there are a bunch of extra clamps, but it does fix the problem that I had with my stock exhaust, and it gives me even more adjustability for the overall length, so I'm happy with it. The exhaust tips go on really easily. There's another bag of hardware that's included, so go ahead and open that up and then grab your exhaust tip and put the bolt in on one side. It should fit snug in the square hole, and then thread on one of the nuts. The clamp is built into the exhaust tip so it won't fall off or anything. Then slide it onto the exhaust and check your fitment. My fitment was way off, as you can see how it's just all shifted to one side, and that's actually at both exhaust outlets. So again, you can just kind of loosen the clamps underneath and make your adjustment to rotate the kit until you get the exhaust tips centered where you want them. Then tighten down the tips, make sure they're extended where you want them and even on both sides. And now we can go ahead and go for a test drive. So let's listen to some exhaust clips. So yeah, that's how it sounds. And again, just a reminder, so this is a catless downpipe with a modified stock mid pipe. So it does have one of the resonators removed, and then it has the AWE muffler. So I do think it sounds pretty good. Overall, you know, it's good for like a daily driver setup. A lot of you guys that are looking for a tame exhaust that you can hear a little louder, but doesn't sound crazy. You know, this is probably right up your alley. Even with the catless downpipe, it's not obnoxious at all. But yeah, you know, in low RPMs and stuff driving around, there's no like drone. It cruises really quietly, but as soon as you floor it, it really opens up and makes some good noises. Or if you drive with the windows down, you know, you can always hear it really well. Now, I will say personally, I probably would pair it with a mid pipe, and maybe it's just because I've gotten used to the muffler delete for so long, but you know, I could definitely take a little bit more volume. So in the future, if I were to modify it some more, I'd probably remove that second resonator or just get, you know, a mid pipe with no resonators and swap that in. But, you know, it kind of just depends on your personal preference. The B58 in general, it doesn't really make any bad noises. It's a good sounding engine. Most of what we do is just trying to make it louder and tune it to your taste. But yeah, let me know if you guys are interested in any other videos or have any questions about this. I will have a link down in the video description if you guys are interested in purchasing. And again, a big thank you to KiesMotorsports for partnering with me and supplying the exhaust. So yeah, I think that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope this helps. And if you have any other questions or comments, leave them down below.